Now you're back to your desk.
Yes, sir. Where it belongs.
Yeah, this needs to be 60 days prior. I think that's all I request.
I'll
60
probably
days
fall
notice of
asleep in it.
when you will need that payment. Okay. Yep. Okay,
Oh, my power's back on,
all right,
yay.
fair enough. Appreciate your time.
Every house on our road was out of
Thanks,
power
buddy.
for some
Yep,
reason.
all right. Probably looking at right after the first of the year, the cabin chassis will be done. He's saying November 12th, but it goes to a technical for the, then they build the body and the
Oh,
blah,
okay.
blah, blah, blah. But he says it'll probably be like delivery after the first year.
So we want to pay for it, so we can bond and for, instead of bonding this year for it, we can bond next year for it.
He still want like a 60-day notice anyway, right?
Yeah,
On
he-
payment, and I told him, I said same thing, I was trying to give you a heads up,
Yeah.
60-day notice when it's.
Okay.
The Ansel system, we
Yeah.
forgot about the prevailing wage, we're up to 8,700 now. But that's also with the alarm for outside, because we're not tied into an alarm system.
I don't believe we're happy.
Prevailing wage.
That walked in pretty good.
It depends.
Does it apply to
depends.
house to turn it-
It's about work, you know. This is some documentation that he made for his.
The old lawyer. He talked to us, somebody must have said something, but he's like, yeah, go to store and saw it, I'm like, yeah, good.
So we might be able to get into it in the morning.
So work is
definitely
definitely
not
not
gonna
gonna be here.
Earlier.
I doubt
He said
it.
yesterday.
If you, I didn't realize this appointment was in
Good.
Plattsburgh.
Oh, the temperature we got.
Okay.
I doubt it.
I'll put this in his folder.
Oh, it'll be fine. Anything that's in there, Rich told me I can give to the food pantry.
Bring our big porch over there and warm it up. Not as quickly, you can,
Yeah.
you can, I mean, to get in there, you can.
Lamonte hasn't gotten back to me yet, but
Right.
So,
hey, they're gonna start accepting
so
stuff.
only,
for
if I
the-
don't.
Yes,
I've got
which is-
12 bags.
Yeah,
None of my stuff, cause I get it, so it has to be.
yeah, never, Derek, it's softly
Always
marked.
got
Yeah,
12
like
bags, all
Stuff
the my stuff.
stuff for the food pantry this weekend, for the thrift store.
The food pantry won't be open until next year.
That'll be open probably
No,
November.
that's
Oh, sorry, no, right now. It's not in
Oh,
the, not in the new.
Right, and the thrift store, would they
Oh.
say March or something like that?
Okay.
No, I think.
It isn't before that, okay.
Before we get
Probably
started on Kenny's budget, can I just ask a question? And you guys can tell me if you want to address it or not. We had an employee recently request consideration for coverage for his fiance. I'm getting there, as a domestic partner. The affidavit says that they have to live together and they don't. But it doesn't say how long, so the question is, does the town wanna set a standard, like, cause most municipalities use 6 months as a minimum.
6 months, what 6 months what?
Cohabitation.
Right, so in other words, if they're not, the point is, unless something changed from yesterday, they're not living together.
Right, no,
She's
they're not gonna
saying
get it, but I'm
that,
saying is, going forward, we should have some kind of policy, so should I just bring up at a workshop later on?
New York State does ours also.
I didn't see anything in statutes,
No.
New York City uses 6 months, there's a couple other towns I found that use 6
So in other
months.
words, if they move in together on January first.
They'd have to wait till July 1.
Okay, I got you now.
I think that makes sense.
So put it on for like a workshop maybe
Yeah,
in
that's
December
reasonable.
or something
Sure.
to talk about?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I just misinterpreted what you're asking, I'm sorry. Because we thought.
I know, cause we had started the discussion, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I went home, when I looked and researched it there and said,
We can put
Yeah.
it on with holiday pay.
Yeah, right?
And one, right?
That got skipped, they talked about it in
We forgot
September
about
and it
it.
got
We
skipped.
forgot about this too.
yeah, once I saw it, I go, oh,
Which
what
one
does
is
that?
The one runs in.
Did you talk to?
Oh, yeah.
did you Talk to Adrian about the
I have that.
City
on
Bear?
there.
No, I forgot about that too.
So,
to put it on the agenda for next month. We gotta run
Holiday pay?
Pollinate, no,
No.
pollinator garden.
pollinator garden.
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest. I thought my meeting was here at
No, it was my mistake for sending.
No, but I got a ginormous beer in my truck that's getting warm.
It's cold outside.
Let's go.
No, it's.
It's not cold enough for beer, Jason,
Oh,
come
I
on.
was gonna say, geez, that's impossible, I together.
I'm only picking.
Maybe wine, maybe, but not beer.
Yeah, no, it'll.
Holiday. Right, no, it's, I don't remember,
For what?
for next month, domestic. Okay, so we're gonna talk about, there's not a lot that we can talk about revenue side for Kenny, cause
The mortgage tax is at the,
mortgage tax is not hit in his budget, he gets sales tax.
oh, sales tax.
But and chips, which is
Yes.
pretty much set by the state, so we don't have any real option in.
Has that changed?
No, not really, not by much, although Essex County's contract has gone up, somebody negotiated an increase for that. I don't know when that started,
For
but
chips?
no, for Essex County, for the snow,
Oh, yeah.
snow ice.
That was thanks to Ken 2 years ago.
Okay,
We went from 88,000
To like
to 98.
yeah. So, you know, he's okay that way, in that sense, so his expense budget, his salary is in the general fund, but I'm assuming that we're gonna discuss that at a later time with everything that's been
Yeah,
going on.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
give me a page number.
I'm getting there.
Oh, I thought we were, I saw your books open.
So, we're gonna start with, page 11, the town garage.
On the
At the
second tab.
bottom, the second tab, the first tab, sorry. First tab, page 11, at the bottom. For his office supplies, we just basically put in his telephone for his cell phone. I don't know if we need to really put much in there. Cause he doesn't, most of what he uses is stuff that Shannon gets.
Pretty much.
Then at the bottom. You didn't ask for anything for the town garage for equipment, is that correct? Cause I didn't see anything in your app, in your,
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
we're good.
The fuel oil is for the heating out there, the gas and diesel is for what we sell at the pumps. That's-
sorry to back up.
Yeah.
And I know we just left revenue, but we didn't sell the 15 yet, right? Cause that's what they're using at showgrounds.
That's a 5.
It's an old.
Okay, I mean, is there anything out of your?
We have a
fleet that you think you're gonna-
2017, there will be a 17 that's gonna go once we get. Our hands on that new truck that's coming.
But safer not to project it as revenue and wait till we're gonna do it.
Right, I mean, yeah,
Well, we
I mean,
don't project that as revenue.
Right. I just,
It,
mostly I just wanna know if there's something that
yeah, no,
may be
that's
going in the next year.
are you trading that in towards the new
No, they
truck?
won't take the
You're gonna
trade.
surplus it.
that they will buy it, they'll do an appraisal at the time, you know, cause we have used it, you know, since we made this initial deal. When it's time to be sold, they'll come do another evaluation on the thing
Okay,
and tell you what it's worth. They'll make an offer, Charlie Boys will make an offer. I still have the contact information from the other guy that bought those previous 2 trucks.
right,
Which could be another option that might be, you know, whoever wants to offer more, I guess. The other guy just doesn't. Private plowing up in Maine, so he buys those, I guess, all the time.
okay. Good.
You know,
I don't generally budget the sale of property, it's considered a one-time revenue, and
Sure.
it's frowned upon to budget that, especially if you don't have a good idea what it's gonna be. Or
Okay,
how long it's gonna be until you can actually dispose of it.
it just lets me put things in the back of my mind for.
Better in your mind than mine.
and I can spend another 30
Yeah.
grand.
With all this money.
It's his money, it goes in his highway.
Yeah,
So the office supplies. Yeah, right, so the office supplies and consumables is everything that they use at the town garage that's not related to the plowing or equipment.
How come it's such an increase? Office supplies and consumables.
I don't know, maybe I think
If you
you're gonna
go-
need more toilet paper next year.
Well, if you go down, isn't the highway generator repair the 5,000? If so, the next page. Or is
Oh,
that
yeah,
under
okay,
the
yeah, I'm sorry.
line?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's, okay,
That snuck up on us like.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, so, but
okay.
that's not all, I put it in all at 5,000, but that's not all gonna be, I'm hoping it's not all gonna be 5,000.
Oh, so it would be a normal 2,000,
So.
whatever, plus maybe 3,000 for the generator.
Do you, right, do you remember last year I had like I had those lines that said I had detail and it said all else and then put a dollar amount, I didn't do that this year for a lot of this, so,
Okay.
but.
So I could have turned the page and it would have been much.
So like, for instance, in that case, like, as I just said,
I
now
know.
this time, instead of saying all else, I just put down no detail. Building repair and maintenance, camera system, 550. I don't know. I think I carried that over from this year. I don't know. Did you get? a
No,
quote?
that's a new.
That's a new one.
That's new. I mean, we currently have a wireless camera system in our building that, the shitty internet, oops, sorry.
It's all right.
The internet that we have down there,
It's become shittier too.
the one, you know, especially the outdoor camera that go like faces of fuel pumps, that's so sporadic that I'd like to just put it in a hardwired system, comes with a new DVR and like 6 cameras that you can
Gotcha.
place on the doors and the fuel pumps and a couple other strategic
all-
places if need be,
And
right?
it's all.
So you can see,
Yes, and hardwired, yes.
and you'll see what people are pumping and what they're pumping into.
Well, you
that's what
can,
the
I
intent
mean,
is.
you won't be able to zero in on it, but you'll be able to definitely
You'll be able to
tell.
tell if it's a town vehicle or not.
Yes, oh, yes.
We
Yes.
may.
Should we be putting that in Craigwood too?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
There's a plan.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for that, yeah.
and I'd like remind everyone that there was $50,000 under ARPA for cameras.
But you use some of that.
Yeah, we used 8 or 9,000, maybe 10,000, so there's 40 left. And maybe as a board, we will look at different important areas for cameras other than just our venues.
Does that include out the lacrosse fields and all that? Is that part of the 50?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
yeah,
I just wanna make sure.
so I'm just saying,
Pickleball courts.
that could
Really,
be,
that's secure.
we may determine different sites for different needs.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's the 20,000, no detail?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
that's-
So in
Thank you.
general, right, so in general, the building repair, the town garage building has needed work over the past few years, right? You
Yeah.
did some roof work, some
We did garage door
insulation,
work.
garage doors and stuff like that,
Right.
so,
And that's like you say, God forbid you, if you lose a door
right,
and there's 10 grand right there.
right.
you know,
Do you remember what it cost us when the ice built up? We had to do that whole front of that roof.
That's one of those 21 or 18s, I don't know which year it was
Yeah.
we did it in. So 21, we did 21, almost 22,000, and 22, it was just shy of 19.
Okay.
Last year was 10.7, so and this year, we've spent 84. Whether or not we need the whole 20,000, probably not, we would hope not, but I don't know if you wanna cut that down and
I
take
think
our
that's,
chances.
I would say there's one area we may. You know what I mean?
Is this another situation where we could have a reserve account where? we can
Like,
kind
we
of-
could move it into contingency,
Just as a way to like, I guess.
don't spend it unless the board says yes, spend it.
But it's more that we can save over time in case there is some things.
Oh,
Do
no,
you see
that's
any-
not what contingency is, okay.
But do you foresee any sort of major sort of issues, or is it just
Well,
more of
I, you know,
here and there with 10?
My
Have you
crystal
seen
ball
the-
is saying not work, I think overall, I think everything's in pretty good shape now for all the maintenance that has been done in the past few years, Unless, like I say, it's just something freakish, you know, that happens, like a garage door, all it takes is a cable to break and it'll smash a couple panels, and then it's, like I say, there's $8,000-9,000 in one blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Jason, I can tell you, since Kenny and I have been working together. I have been emphatic about, I don't wanna give it the wrong name, but I like leeway of at least $20,000 because. If a hydraulic arm on a wing gets busted, or there are things that happen throughout the year you cannot outsee.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying,
But that wouldn't be under this.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be in this,
Right.
well, a
That-
budget
this
amendment is a
specific-
budget amendment.
No, I mean, because that would actually be.
in the
next one
highway
down.
fund, this
Right.
is general fund, but it's the same concept though.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
I
you know,
understand what you're
garage door is damaged, one of the
Yeah.
guys hits the gas instead of the brakes by accident, or forgets to put down the dump,
Sure.
All
or,
those
you
things
know,
have happened, I mean,
You
unfortunately,
better
they have
remember.
happened.
I'm just saying.
So the next line down, equipment repair and maintenance, equipment.
Okay,
What-
so
What was, what was big this year?
that is where the service contract on the generator
The 5,000.
goes. No, hold on
No.
a second, one of them is,
Page read,
yeah, I'm
well-
sorry, Kenny, we're
well.
getting.
no, cause I know that.
Okay, office supplies and consumables at $5,000, and then at the top it says highway generator repair not service. Actually, what that would be is like just when they come to service it, if it needs a part. Or to put the gas or diesel into it, or things like that. But down below, the highway generator repair,
No,
that's the service contract, I
no,
believe.
wait a minute, I know, oh, I see.
3,900.
There's a
There, oh,
service
then there, I
contract,
gotta see what you did, 3,900, yes.
there's a service contract on
But my
that.
point is, for this year we're in, okay. I don't recall why it was so high,
I don't
98,
think
35,
it's,
23,
yeah,
compared to
I
previous years.
I would have to go back and look and see what got put in there,
Cause
but
obviously we used it all
yeah,
already.
plus some. There was a lot of work that was done on that highway generator, I think we got 3
The
bills
generator
this year.
was- yeah.
So the majority of that, but why did we all this, but it seems funny that we knew to budget it.
So the 90, okay, so we have a contract and they'll say,
Exact number.
they'll say there's like, the contract for this year is gonna be $3,800, but then. That's just their general coming up and looking at it. They'll bill you 3,800, but then they'll say you need X, Y, and Z done,
Yeah, I know,
and that gets billed separate.
but how often do we do it?
They come twice a year,
But-
but this year they came more than twice a year because there were problems with.
Yeah, but my point is, if you look at the history.
Yeah.
Where are you? You know, $470, $1,300, $1,400, then we actually budgeted almost 10,000 for this
Right.
year, why did we do that? Why did we know to do that?
Because you're looking at. Alright. First off, let me just look at something real quick, because the budget, when it says budget here, that budget is the amended budget, that is not what we approved at the beginning of the year.
Oh, when it reads budget 2024.
Yeah, that's what's been amended. So let me just take a peek and see what's.
Cause how did we know to go?
Bring it to the meeting.
We've been doing 1,400, let's
So-
make it 10 grand.
So this
Also, Don
year,
Carson has the lowest.
the original budget for this year in that line was 0.
Oh,
Okay.
So over the months, I've asked you
So
guys
that's-
for
so-
budget amendments.
so that's budget amendment, so,
Yeah.
okay, so then if that's true, okay, got you there, I understand that. But then again, if you look at the history, how did you come up with
39.
39?
Because the 39 is the contract. And probably what happened is between the building repairs and the equipment repairs. When Rose enters, because Rose does the majority of the data entry for the vouchers, and then I review them, and then I
Yeah.
send them to Kenny for him to sign. Some, if they're in the generally right department, I might not catch that they're in the wrong account line. So there might be that the actual repairs got put in one line instead of the other.
So
It's probably
I
just
got
bookkeeping
you,
errors.
so actually, previous years, it was 3,000 plus, but just on a different line.
Yeah,
Okay, so we need to kind of know where that line was, so we can look at that line.
I'd be
Right.
I
willing
would
to
have to
bet
go
it's
back.
the 5,000 plus the 3,900 to make 8,900, which is right in line with the 24 budget.
Could be,
It's the only thing that makes sense. Those
I
are
mean,
two
that could-
things
or
that
that
have
could-
happened, a
or
service
just-
agreement and the actual work done.
or just a coincidence, I don't know if
contracts
it's
and agreements,
coincidental.
no, because contracts agreements down below, we haven't even got that far, is the highway generating maintenance. So I honestly. I would have to go back and look, cause I don't know.
I mean, it's not a tremendous
Also-
amount of money, but it's
Okay.
something.
So also, the other piece of the pie here is that when we do work on that generator. I bill it a third to the school and a third to the village.
Right,
And in past years, I've booked that revenue against the expense line. But for this year coming up, I created a new revenue line so we would track, so we could track it separately. So-
Okay, well.
So that also would
might be-
account for
yeah,
that difference.
That could be,
But I would have to go back and look at the books
okay,
to
yeah, just see that, cause I'm just looking
Yeah.
at something going like, huh? You know? Cause again, I'm looking at not currently this year, but previous years,
yeah,
we're over doubling it.
yeah, I bet you that's what it is.
Because I understand service agreements increase, but they don't go up, you know, 120%.
Unless it's a problem and then like, oh, we've made 3 trips up there this year, next year, we're gonna double that. Because we have to make, you know, extra trips.
So
They-
they
they
better
did
not
that.
do that,
I don't know.
because, you know, generally.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I'm grossing up the revenue.
Okay, so what's the difference in revenue?
The difference in revenue is $5,400.
Okay, that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Okay.
So 5,400 of it will come back to us from the school and the village. If we spent all that.
Okay, no, I got you. Okay, that's it. Okay,
Oh,
keep going. It's
oh
fine.
my God.
All right, no joke.
No, it's all right. I mean. You guys can't read my mind. I don't even know what's in my mind.
But you said,
Oh, let's see. So then, let's see, where else are we? I mean, what else is there? I think it's all, except for that, everything else is. Pretty close. The generator is the biggest change.
Yeah.
And that's just for the maintenance of the upkeep and maintenance of that garage building, not any of. Like the truck stuff or.
okay, I'll ask this one then. Equipment rentals and leases.
Yes,
It was $295 this year. Next year it's $8,000.
so they wanna rent a widener?
Yeah, that should be under road repair, wouldn't it? Road repair.
Oh, it's sorry, but it's not
place.
Like road repair.
Let me see.
I wanna rent a paver, a roller and a road.
Right.
widener.
Right.
Then I'll eliminate labor for paving.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Because under the, I mean, we went from
Alright,
0, 62, $300,
mhm,
8,000.
okay. So that's a mistake that I made.
And where would it go normally?
So then what do we put in 2023?
Probably go into
Equipment
road
rentals.
repair.
What would you have out there that you would rent?
The light.
Only thing I'd ever need a gravel rental would be like a man lift if we can't get our hands on a village, but outside of that.
How about the lights for the tournament from the county?
That would be under,
Let's get our parks.
Parks.
We paid for
it would either be under parks or it would be under traffic control.
Let's be paid for it.
Okay.
I sometimes we put it under traffic control. So,
Oh, that's why I'm over.
no, that, you're over in traffic control because of all the signs.
Yeah, good old Nimer bastards. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. They probably heard it before.
Nobody's on.
If anybody's watching out.
Well, they'll watch it. I'm sure they're gonna watch it.
Oh, I would.
Alright,
So,
I
so we're
will
gonna,
look- I
so we're gonna
will
check on that one.
check on that.
But pretty evident, we need to move.
If it's not a duplicate, and I have to figure out what that 6259 is from 2023 and why that was
Yeah.
put there.
And just asking, probably there's really good reason for it. Contracts and agreements is $15,000 now, where it was 11.
Yeah, that's that whole thing with the generator.
Oh, there it is,
again.
like, I got it. This bold stuff
So-
is killing me.
I know, but I have been known
Yeah.
to enter things in 2 places.
Yeah.
So I will double check on all of
No,
that.
that's fine, I just.
And
Yeah, I have no idea. Adrian, for the-
Yeah, yeah, what the hell are you renting?
Nothing.
Oh, shit.
that bugs me.
Go to the transfer station.
I wish I had access to this program right now, I'd look it up.
Alright, so
Highway. Alright, so for him in the A fund. That's it for highway, and then if we wanted to go to the bottom of page 15. That's the transfer station. And. Shannon did not, or Penny, either one of you that I've noticed on here ask for anything for equipment at the transfer station.
No,
Like your
no,
balers are good, because last year you had money in the budget for a baler and. We never got it.
I
right, and we do have one that cracked out right now, she's getting quotes, but either we're gonna need more money, cause they're coming in obviously higher, not much, I think we had 30 grand. So that's-
Yeah.
31.
And I think the pricing that she's getting is like 32, but then plus freight plus inflation, so it's either you can do a budget amendment this year and we can get the ball rolling, or do we roll it over to next year?
She hasn't sent me anything yet.
Correct.
Could you guys actually go 2 months without having a baler working?
This is a great time of year to
Yes.
go 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is the best time of year for anything that's, this is kind of slow for everybody, I think, I mean,
Yeah.
at least on our behalf it
Yep.
is, so.
So that's up to the board to decide, but we still need the information from Shannon.
Yeah, we'll get like firm numbers, I know she was on the phone today with another company trying to find a
Okay,
third estimate.
and then the next page is, I mean. Her budget for next year, if you don't count the baler request, is. Dollar amount the same as last year, but if you take the baler out, then. We're up by about $30,000, and I would say that the majority of that, 20 of it is for just hauling trash. And the rest of it would be in salaries and electricity, maintenance.
What do we have in 30 grand for grinding?
Yeah, that's what she asked for.
I think that's fine, I think it was a C and D pit, it was really not, I mean, I'm not saying it's not necessary, but I don't know if you need to do that on a yearly basis and.
Hmm.
I think they can squeeze it in with what they have this year anyway,
Yeah.
what needs to be done. They are coming this year, I mean.
Oh, they are coming,
what we have,
okay.
yeah, they are coming.
I'd love the projection on what we've saved in years
Oh, yeah.
by starting that
Oh,
program.
boy.
Yeah, well, a lot,
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah. So Kenny, I'll bring it up.
Go ahead.
Do you think we should raise the rates at all at the transfer station?
That I don't know.
There's one, everybody else has heard this, you probably you've heard it too, I would like to get to the point where it's my kind of pet peeve, but not charging extra for credit cards. And I was surprised at the percentage of people that use a credit card.
Right.
You know, other than, and I'm taking away,
Mhm.
obviously, billing, but drive ups, I was gonna say walk ups, drive ups.
Mhm.
And it's a pet peeve of mine, not just with us, but anything, is, you know, you absorb it, it's the cost of doing business.
Right.
let's assess where we're at, so if, for instance, what we have to recover is $40,000.
Hmm.
In fees over a year of
That's
taking
what, that's what I
credit
think,
cards.
that's what I'd like to look at.
No, I don't think it's that much.
Yeah,
I'll bet it's half that.
Probably, if.
Cause I mean, you're generally talking, and I know it varies by this one, this one, this one, and this one, but let's use the figure of 3%. Or 2.5 or something like that. I mean, that's the processing fee in general.
Right,
If and we wouldn't have to raise it that much, cause that's only a proportion of it.
or you could change the punch cards, I mean, not even the price of the punch card, you could just, instead of having a 10 punch card, you can make it a 9 punch card, where now they gotta buy another card sooner, quicker.
I
Yeah,
think,
but if I gotta get 2 punches for a large, I'm just kidding. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, this is somewhere you fill out.
That's a margin of human error right there.
Dick, if you're okay on waiting a little bit, I don't think we have to do this.
No, I
In
just wanted to
budget?
bring it up.
Well, no,
Because it is.
because here's what's happening, Shannon has already had maybe 3 discussions with
Yeah.
Bill Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill called me just a couple days
Right.
ago and said, I'd like to get together with you, so I said, I see Kenny every day, I'll see Shannon, and we'll continue talks because there are. Well, there's the potential for either shared system.
Right.
And I'm going farther than I should now before
Right.
I have the information.
Right, you're just assuming, I got you.
But we have, just real quick, we still only have 2 trailers.
Right.
Okay, and I stopped to talk to Larry Brockway today because Wilmington was there dumping. And it took up half of our container.
Sure.
And if we have Casella right behind it, must bring 30 tons a month.
There's one, we're pulling 2 dumps and then
Yeah.
full.
Yeah, so we're really only gaining revenue off the Casella side. And we're providing a convenience for Wilmington and St. Armandars. Also talked to Kathy about. So I called Dugan and he's prepared to get us a 3rd trailer because he feels what's going on. So our timing is very good to talk to all the service providers there are.
Right,
Because there's an outside chance Casella would come in and invest whatever, and we would be self-sustaining.
now,
I'm
you,
not suggesting we're ready for that. I'm gonna need Ken and Shannon's
right,
advice.
No, this is perfect then, like, the Casella coming in, so we were just, this was a temporary thing to get a feel for it, correct? Or maybe like, or we.
They
full steam ahead?
wanted, well, I think on both ends, they're hoping for like a reduced rate, as we said before, to bring in. Guaranteed like 30 tons a week, I think
Yeah.
is what they were aiming for. And I don't know if you can create like a sliding scale of, all right, you made 20 tons, you didn't make 30, can you?
Sure.
And like I say, it's really, I mean, is it fair? No, it's not fair, but it's really easy money right there.
And it's a
Like,
volume game.
one truck comes in and, I mean, you
Yeah.
make
$1,200
$3
bucks.
grand, like,
So it's 3K, so is that what we're gonna, are we forecasting that revenue into the transfer?
No.
We can't
Can't
Yeah.
forecast
No.
anything if it's not,
it's not
like,
done
you don't have a
deal.
contract,
It's
you
not
don't,
But that's what, like, that's what I'm asking, not to.
it's
like,
not in the
like,
budget.
Not, how close are we to like having that? Like, you said it's like, we're getting a feeling it out, when do you feel like, when you'll have a good idea? When we can go
that's,
from
I
more
mean,
informal to formal?
I don't have the control to say. You guys have the
Yeah,
control, you tell
yeah, I
me
think-
what you
I
want.
think- I think it's-
So what would
kind
be
of-
your recommendation?
I think if it was like serious and they could. If they're gonna continue to come, I think we could spur this up within a couple weeks, I don't think it's a big to do, I think we gotta make an offer to them on what rate we're willing to come down to. That makes sense for him logistically, so he doesn't have to travel out of town and it's just more cost effective for him to stay here, manpower, fuel. To dump here,
Right.
otherwise, like you say, going back to like, do we raise our rates, maybe people hire a service and. Kinda catch 22, maybe we lose revenue by increasing rates, you know what I mean?
Okay. No, that's.
You know what I'm saying, is like, I don't know, is. Now that there's that other garbage service in town
Yeah.
and he's undercutting everybody and good for him if he does, he's making a profit, great. I don't know if raising or I don't know,
Okay,
I think we could square it away if we could get Bill Meyer cornered for
Yeah,
freaking 10 minutes,
I
I think
gotta
that's all
remember
it
to tell
takes
you,
is.
I have he's gonna propose dates to me, so I'll be in touch.
So I think that's it, just have one meeting with him and.
Yeah, I mean,
so what I'm hearing is that you're gonna have eventually in a meeting to kind of have, and then with Kenny's recommendation about potential, the cost benefit analysis where we wanna make a profit and it's reasonable for him and we can,
Sure.
we're gonna find that spot.
Realistically, first of the year.
Okay,
Because I have already shared tonnage that we do in a year. So Casella has time to say, okay, here's what down the road, what we might be able to do in a total North Elba system. But for now, let's take our truck that's running Lake Placid and not run it back to Clinton County. Let's give them 30 ton a week. And we can realize, say it was $100 a ton. So what's that, $3,000, like you're saying, a week, okay? There's over $50,000 a year, so we can let the credit card fee roll.
right,
Stay good to our
Right.
residents here,
Have it
no
subsidized.
increase,
Okay,
and cost nobody anything. The problem is the trailers, the
Right.
compactors.
well, one thing, it just hit me, and I'm sure you've thought about it, is. Obviously, they have more than one truck here a day.
Right,
Okay, just saying that they did do. Okay, so if they're gonna have, let's say they have 4 trucks here a day. Okay, and they're gonna dump 3 of them. Okay. My point is. Has it been mentioned by them? And I'm sure you've considered it. That way, they may wanna leave their trucks here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and the logical place to keep them is at the transfer station. I mean, that might be play into it like, yeah, we'll allow you to do it, but we're not gonna give you as good a discount or something like that,
yeah,
whatever. I'm just saying, I just thought of that because that's the whole point. You granted, you're driving, right now, you use it four of them back and forth loaded, well, one way loaded. Okay, so now if they're not even anything on them, they can leave them here.
that's all logistics that Ken and Shannon can.
I know, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, that's one thing, I thought down the road, they may ask us, well, hey, this is working. So, you know, can we leave 3 trucks there? And we'll just pick them up in the morning.
And we're looking at we've been generating about 3,000 in revenue since we've been testing this out.
It's hard to say, cause as of now, we haven't given them any discount, they've been paying full,
Oh,
the same as everybody else paid.
there's no.
No, but
There's no
way-
separate revenue stream, they're just coming in dumping just
Right
like.
now, you're making
everybody else.
bank on them, cause they're paying full.
That's right.
job.
Are they
So it's just
Yeah.
mixed into the whole
Jason,
revenue.
here's the deal,
doing 30 ton
we
now?
pay
I don't
basically
know.
$80 a ton when we bring it to the
They
county,
just.
we charge $180.
You know, do it.
Lake Clear charges
$140.
$140 to keep
And I don't think they're
them
looking
from
for a big
hauling to
reduction. We
Lake Clear and
charge,
going to Franklin
what,
County,
190
because
Yeah.
Casella controls Clinton
They
County.
pay
They'd like to
130
get
something over
underneath
there,
that
so-
140.
Okay,
So anything between 100 and
50,
140
160 a ton.
leaves
You
us
still don't have to run over there, you know.
$35 to
The extra
$60 a
weight,
ton
No,
that's-
profit.
I think it needs to be addressed.
I was just wondering if this is like, there was some sort of that sort of, wasn't sort of like
It's very
a side
complicated.
agreement,
It's-
side agreement.
But I think
where
if you're
they're
not
like
at 30, it.
just coming in and
Oh, yeah.
there was
No,
a
that's-
different
that's
revenue
exactly-
stream, but it's all mixed in right now,
Yeah.
just
Volume
like.
discount.
Too much to
I
get.
mean, it's not fair to the taxpayer. It's really not fair to say, hey, but I mean, when I say it's easy, well, it's like finding money.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Now, when you say 3 trailers, does that mean put in a third?
No, just
Just-
having one to move out and
That's what I
put one
thought.
in
That's
so
what I
that, so that our
Yeah.
parking lot isn't got
Oh, no.
20 tons sitting there
No,
waiting
no,
for a
that's
trailer.
that's what I thought, I just wanted to make sure, cause that's why I interpreted what you
And in
said.
the immediate, and I'm getting off, we
No.
gotta get back for Kathy, but
Sorry,
one of the main things we have to fix, and this is on my list to talk to you and Shannon about, is to maybe talk to Circle until we land some kind of deal. And one of us lets them in on Thursday when we're closed, so that we start totally empty. I'm worried about next summer, because if we still have to take Wilmington and St. Armand, and they're bringing 30 extra ton a week, we don't have the trailer space to make it work. Cause we're always waiting for somebody.
I think everything's doable, is.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
doable,
If I let them come in on a Thursday when nobody's there and haul out what's there, so we have empty to start with Friday. Friday and Saturday are,
Right, yeah, no,
and it's just a suggestion, but
You gotta
again, I
have
gotta
somebody
talk to the
operating the
logistics
scales.
people. that-
No, no, it
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, that's the thing, is you can't just let them in to take it,
Yeah,
there's gotta be
yeah.
somebody to, because they've already been accused of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they had a discrepancy between what Circle's saying and what Franklin County or where Clinton County was saying. And wait, so I would definitely want somebody
Oh,
there to
I'm
weigh,
not saying unsupervised.
no, weigh in, weigh out.
No, they was somebody running the
They
scale.
had to pay an employee to come in
Yeah.
for 2 hours to come in and do
Right.
whatever they gotta do. That's doable, or we can run down and weigh them in, weigh them out, it's not hard, it's. They gotta realize like it can't be, maybe it can be year round, but I mean, like say your summer months is like, then does it like, well, let me in on Sunday. So you have an empty one on Monday, you know, then it kind of snowballs when you, you know, you give an inch and take a mile, and that's why Circle rolls, is if you give it to them, they're gonna take even more, and.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it,
Yes.
like it's
I'm not
only,
saying no, but I just think it's gotta be like with at our discretion.
Sure.
Yeah,
And this is a quick question. We're at a stage now where there's technology where it could be done like, I would say automated, where they roll up. And then from you remotely, say on the day off, that like it's not open. on your computer, you see the scale, register, and then just rebuild them
I
that way.
wish,
We're not there yet.
I wish, you're a smart guy, maybe you can figure something out there.
Let's spend 10 grand to make one.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
No, I know what you're saying,
Just
it'd
down
be
the line.
nice.
But like, we don't have to worry about staffing on a Thursday.
Can
Right,
I ask a 30-second tangent, because I'm really interested in this, ready?
No,
30
no.
seconds, do not spend more than 30
Okay,
seconds.
wait a minute.
The new guy who was doing the trash collection, undercutting everyone, so we hired him at Fawn Valley, and you know, he has trash bins instead of dumpsters.
Right.
And then he puts can liners in them, so does he then come around? I don't, no, you have to know this, 'cause I. So like,
Yes.
he picks up the can liners and he puts them like in a truck, like he doesn't have like a machine or anything.
no, right.
So then does he come through the transportation and just pays like for those bags?
Yeah.
Ways in, ways out.
Ways in, ways out, and.
And is there recycling?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't,
that's my question,
Yeah, you
I
can't-
want Shannon to see if he's
Absolutely
recycling.
no,
No,
He's not.
What's that?
There's no way.
recycling.
he does recycle.
I mean, cause
He
we're at
opens
Fawn
up the
Valley,
bags and sorts.
No, he doesn't separate, like pull anything out of a bag, but he, like if he has loose cardboard, he carries in cardboard.
but at Fawn Valley, there are 6 trash, 6 recycling, and the recycling also has the black trash like can liners in it. So that's what I was thinking, I'm like, but wouldn't it make sense for him to do recycling, cause he wouldn't have to pay for
Oh,
it?
sure.
Well,
So you don't think it's worth his
It takes
trouble?
more time.
No.
It's
no.
the time.
yeah, it's time.
And you know, people
I'll-
will
I'll
make,
Labor
bet you
versus
$1,000
throwing
right
it
now.
away.
it all goes into garbage.
Is it,
because-
what's the name of this guy?
I don't ask Kenny, I can't remember,
Who's
I was
that?
like,
Who is that?
I just wanna call him
Who is
Dumpster
it?
Dave.
Creek kid.
Oh.
Do you mean my storage?
Right.
I
Right.
I'd be surprised if, because people
No.
in any complex, you're gonna have those individuals that aren't gonna bother to clean or
It's
take the
correct.
labels
Come
off.
on.
And that gets dumped in
Yeah.
our
RJ.
chaos
Yeah, Lisa
recycling.
Reese.
It is our.
Oh, I don't know.
And
Is
when
it
that
Cory?
happens,
That's so
that
cool.
just eats the whole batch.
I'm pretty sure it's Court, yeah. He just had a kid.
Yes,
Yeah, it's Court.
okay.
If
I think
there's
there's
a
a letter
market for it, cause don't.
But yeah, loony bin,
Yeah.
whatever his garbage service, yeah.
But
Okay, 'cause
most
there's
of
one
them,
in
there is
Saranac.
no
Loony bin.
Loony bin,
There's one and 2 plastics or the
That's a
other
picture of a loon.
that we
It's
can.
not like a loony bin. That's my department.
No, I didn't
See the concrete blocks that I have?
Talking about them starting some.
It's very
Okay, now I know.
Yeah.
We do,
Yeah,
that
that's Lisa Reed's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
can't
know.
be Corey Reed, Corey's a golf,
No, it's not
No,
Cory.
RJ is his son, it's his brother.
I said RJ.
No, it's Lisa Reed's son. That's who it is.
And there was 3 boys, there was Nick, God, what's his name, but
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah, little Reed kid there, Lisa's son.
It's Lisa's son, yeah.
Young kid, he's.
His price is perfect, guys, I don't, but.
I think he's the same age as Scott, 23.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
there.
But I told Nick about it, I'm like, let's get out of Casella and go to this guy, Nick was like, why don't we give it some time, I was like, yeah, let's give it some time and see how this goes.
Seems to be doing well, I mean, but like I say,
He hasn't got a pickup at Pond Valley yet, so, but there's 12 I'm like, God, that's like so time consuming, instead of just like picking up a dumpster. But I understand he doesn't have the equipment yet, so,
Plus, he doesn't have far to go.
yeah, it's.
He lives just down the street.
12 each, it's 6 each, 6 garbage, 6 recycling,
alright,
okay.
That was more than 30 seconds.
Sorry, you guys.
Listen, it's the first time garbage related she's ever said.
I was wondering what he's doing here.
Now I'm trying to figure out his name. Jesus.
Keep
All right,
going.
good.
No.
Yeah, now you gotta be.
So transfer station, I don't think the budget is out of whack. It will adjust depending on what we find out about the compactor and under the transfer station cemetery.
I see that.
So the $5,000 under the equipment and capital outlay, that's a carryover from this year's budget. It was a placeholder. I can't even remember what the 5,000 was put
I
in there
think-
for.
I got it, I think that was for the building,
yeah,
when we were gonna
Yeah.
fix the upstairs
we actually,
sconces, remember, we did
God, I
some
don't
of
know
that.
what name, now you got, I caught your disease, Dick. Anyways, the guy there that did the sign, Goff.
Yeah, Billy Goff.
He came and looked at, he's like, one of the windows, he's like, don't change windows, he's like, you will not wanna afford to let me do windows, and he's recommended, cause we do have like a couple broken windows at the cemetery. I don't know if you can match a glass, he thinks he might be able to, but he's saying I'd like to try like a sample one and take one off. He wants to, fix all the grout around
He'll
the,
do the glazing,
he'll do the glazing. Fix any repairs, and he says he can put some sort of flashing down on the, on the sill. It'll be a lot cheaper and it'll look great, and he says it'll kind of go with, he's actually saying probably copper. But he says a couple of years when it tarnishes with that type of building, it'll look great. And I just dug up the, actually today, he wanted to know, he was gonna give us a quote on the stairs. He wanted to know if there was a foundation under the stairs, which there is, we get down like 42 inches and there's a
oh, there's a
footing
footing,
anyways
Yeah.
underneath there, how good it is, but he was curious how much of the removal. I'm like, well, we can remove it,
yeah,
that's the easy part, and we can, I mean, if he's gonna do the work, but. You wanna know what it's gonna cost to, to create a new structure with a footing, if there wasn't one there. So now they knows that there's a footing, and I think we'll get a price on the stairs pretty quick.
is the door still an issue?
He's gonna do the door and the stairs,
Okay,
not do, he's gonna give us a quote for the door.
so naturally, 5,000 carries over, but that's not even a third of what we're talking about.
It's. I think it should be done in, of course, I'm the most impatient person ever, I wanna
Get it, to
like
it.
Should've been done already.
gratification, get shit done, but do we do the windows? This year, then do we do the stairs next year?
I'd like
just
to know
take
the
one big
priority,
chunk.
there's two things we've talked about
The
over
doors
2
important.
years.
The doors and.
Yeah.
I think that the door and the steps should be addressed first before the windows, you can put
Right,
something in the window and make it work.
I agree.
Right.
But I wanna know the priority between door and steps and tree work that you would wanna do work, cause I'm not sure we can afford all of both things.
The door and steps kind of have to be done at the same time because.
Right.
The top step, when they poured it into the foundation and it
Exactly.
kind of sits inside. If you go down the basement, you can see the top step in the basement, so
Sticking
it comes
through.
inside. So if you're gonna take the whole threshold, that step out, the door's gotta go with it.
Right.
So that's kind of a combination project that will be done at the same time, so it's.
About building repairs. The line that we started with was the equipment and capital outlay, which I think that 5,000 was meant to be for a mower, maybe?
Nope.
No?
We did
I don't know.
about-
So
we did on
so
mowers
do
and-
we? That?
So can we move that 5,000 down a couple lines to the building repairs
And make it 10.
and make that one 10, because that's where the steps and the windows and the flashing would be for the chapel.
Yeah, but it still isn't enough for the door and the steps.
5,000?
Well, that would be a
10,000
total
is
of
on
10.
I'm just
But
saying
it's
5,000 to
Yeah,
add
that's
to.
probably
That's
good there.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those steps, that's a big project.
Well, the whole steps in the door kind of protects. The rest, I mean, the way that water is leaking in there, it kind of
Right.
protects the integrity of the building and. um, Concrete in the bottom, if you get down there, kind of scaling off a little bit, he thinks it's fine, cause they actually poured, there's a lot of steel in that concrete, he doesn't think the floor is going anywhere.
Right.
And there is three steel beams that, that support it, so I think.
I remember looking at it from down below. We were
Right.
downstairs.
So I mean, do that, but I mean, what is 6,000? I'm gonna skip down. What's the 6,000 tree removal gonna get us? Everything you need?
I think.
Two trees.
3,000 tree removal,
I actually got it.
3,000 tree planting.
I actually have a tree company coming tomorrow to give me a quote on, like I say, there's 7 trees that are dead along the roadside that have to
Okay, yeah.
go along Old Military, they're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Before they come down and take a wire or car or something, they should be removed. Well, 6 grand cover it, I don't know.
Like without going by and counting them, is that all the cedars, or there's way more than 7 cedars?
Or he-
Oh, these are those big
He's talking
pines.
about Scotch pines, they're that big around.
Sorry, but the big ones that are right.
Yeah, yes, right on along Old Military, yes.
We talked about this before, like I feel like that there needs to be something planted there,
Oh, I agree.
but it's not in here.
No, I think we should do the tree removal before we plant.
But why can't we
Let's
plant it?
remove
Why
it.
I think,
Trees
then
next.
let's throw it in there and find out how much it'll cost to do that whole front row, so we can make that one hedge all the way down
I mean,
there.
it doesn't have to be a hedge, I just think those trees are very pretty and it really adds to the cemetery and I understand they have to come down.
Right.
But I would like something else put in there that's not gonna be a huge headache going down the road, cause I know
Yeah,
that those
artificial trees.
No.
No, but
Why don't you just have cell towers?
Pear trees.
But I think one of the things that makes it look good, other than dead ones, is the fact that they are older growth and they are curled hair.
Mannequin.
You know, that's the thing. Whereas if you start planting, they're gonna be like this and it's not gonna look that good. Well beyond our lifetime.
Future,
Oh, it's
I know
fine.
beyond your lifespan, Dick.
I'm not talking.
There for a while, then, right?
Okay, I know, but you know,
Like
until we
next
get to the
5 to
point
10
where it looks good, it's gonna look.
I would hate to plant a tree knowing like if you're planting trees here, but I have to work here. Now you got your new trees in the way of
Oh,
getting equipment to the trees that need to come down.
How's
That's
the
what I
salt?
think.
Yeah, you can wait till the trees come down, I just like, I want someone to be thinking about the new trees.
Oh, they've been thought about.
What's the salt use?
I like the idea, I really love the idea of
No,
cedars,
no,
cause you can really maintain them and once you get to
I
a
can't
point.
care.
Yeah,
I know, I
As long as you
I'll
keep
be
the
dead
deer.
before he is, but
you can keep the deer off.
but you can shape them, or you can just, say, here's a height you can control them and they still look decent if they're done right.
You'll have to keep them wired, covered and screening, or the deer will have them.
Right.
Yeah, down there.
Well, we can do some pest control.
Yeah.
Too, so.
I still need to get you that address, don't I, of that other tree guy?
Yeah, Jim Kelly or something.
No, we tried Kelly, who's gonna come give you, Devin?
No, Shannon, actually, the guy that does our chipping, new guy for the tree, another guy from Tucker Lake, and I
Yeah.
don't know the names.
Yep,
But yeah, guy from Tucker's gonna come.
So-
It wasn't, Kenny, it wasn't Duhane, was it? Was it Duhane?
No,
Just-
all right, I'll dig that up tomorrow.
yeah, we'll need a second quote anyways, at least to keep them honest.
So as I'm driving by, go to John Brown's farm, those big pines that are on the roadside,
That's kind of like make the cemetery, yeah.
on the,
The ones without
don't
the
like
new
those
little
pines?
trees.
I do, I think
Oh,
they're so,
man.
there's look at
If
them
you
and
work there,
they're
you
so.
know constant things.
I understand what that they're
Got
annoying.
branches dangling and falling on you, oh, they're dangerous.
No, we
They're
don't
all
like
right.
it.
Cemetery, so I mean, if they had to be dangerous, that'd be.
it's not gonna kill anyone.
All those trees, why they're dying is
We're getting
ants,
punches.
they're all hollow, that's.
Yeah.
I
We
know,
just
I
don't
know
know
they
which
need to
ones
come
are
down,
hollow
I'm
and
just saying I
don't.
want something else there, please.
Sure, yeah.
Well, Dick knows a good.
Artificial trees, we get
Talked to him a few days ago too.
nice cedar, nice.
He's up to my house.
Right, there you go.
So if you guys don't wanna make any other changes to the cemetery
Wait a minute, that's
budget.
okay, hold on.
So
So
then
we're
I'll
gonna
say
move
six-
5 down to, we're gonna add the 5 to the 15, right?
No, we're gonna add 5 to the other 5.
So you're saying just we're gonna need a budget adjustment?
Yeah, but it's gonna be part of the 15. Right?
Give it the 5 to the
No,
5, isn't that?
15
that's just-
15's the total.
The 15 is the grounds repair,
Yeah,
Which is
the
separate.
5 is a separate line right above.
I know,
it.
but we're gonna add the 5 to the
Building
15.
repairs, no,
No.
we're gonna add the 5
to
to
the
the
10.
5.
It's gonna be 20, then
No,
10.
no,
and
no,
15.
no, no.
The fives
gonna
that are
take-
close to one.
We're gonna take
We're-
that 5 and we're gonna put it to, we're gonna take this 5?
Yeah.
And we're gonna put that 5.
Oh, that 5, I thought we
Yeah.
were gonna put it on that 5.
No, that 5 is for,
No, I was looking at that, I was
C.
looking at that.
yeah,
I was looking at that.
yeah. It's a different line,
But what's the,
different budget line.
So the six
Building
grand.
repairs
building,
and
building,
instead-
okay.
And then the other one,
You're gonna
The
keep that
grounders and
hidden,
the
so
italicized
Park
stuff is
District doesn't get a
underneath it.
hold of it.
Yes, I
so
got
so the
it stays
15 is the
looking
sum
good.
of all the stuff below it.
okay, gotcha, thank you.
That's a good fudge factor, leave that right in there.
I don't know why 6.
Which one that?
The 6 grand for the canopy tent.
No, it's
No, no,
100,
that's.
the tree removal,
Tree
6
removal,
grand.
Your 2 tree moves 6 grand.
Oh, so the seed
You guys need
pesticide
rulers.
is
I'm gonna put
5,000?
rulers in the budget for next year.
Yes, Kenny,
What's that?
so seed and pesticide, et cetera, 5 grand?
That's what
probably
she put down, she said miscellaneous supplies, seed, pesticide, et cetera,
Okay.
5 grand. That's what she put. And then I put the 3,800 in there for miscellaneous because
Well, we got the.
this
new
year we
columbarium
spent
stuff.
11,000, I don't know why we spent 11,000 this year, I have to go back and look and see what
I
I
was
put
gonna
in
say,
there.
that's a lot, a bit, yeah.
What's this?
Well, we
It
have
seems cyclical though, because in 21 we spent 9,000.
Right.
Then it went down, then it went down, and then it went back up, then it went down.
Well, the budget's 11,000, but it says we only spend 1,000. So what, I don't get that.
Right, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Unless I put something in there, asked for a budget amendment and then realized it was incorrect and.
I was gonna say that, I don't understand that.
We had surveying costs, reported tube pads, there's been things that throughout the
Oh,
year.
Yeah, but no, which
See
it
the
could be,
concrete
but we're
Well,
saying,
the original budget was 11,625 and it must have been 11,625 for something very
Something, yeah.
specific.
but
So
we've
my
only done
guess,
1,000.
right, so my guess would be that the specific item hasn't been purchased yet. And I didn't wanna take that away from,
I know we talked about buying a couple benches like for those columbariums.
that's probably what it was. is
And the
benches.
fence.
And you would have done a budget,
There we go.
you would have done a budget amendment for that, even though it hadn't been done. It hadn't been-
How do we not?
No, but so what I'm saying is the 1,900, probably some portion of that 1,900 was not what was originally in that 11,600 budget, which was.
Not that we
Which
don't
was
need that.
earmarked for specific items, so we had to get more money put in there. And I probably took it from another line item in that budget, cause I don't always come to you guys and say, I need. $500 for this item in this line, if it's all in a 0.4 account under cemetery, I move it around.
No, but yeah, no, that's.
So I can check and see what the 11,625 was, I just don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a good reason for that, but the actual is 1,000, so.
Right, so in my mind, I'm thinking it's gotta be, we had something definitely planned for that 11. So if it ends up that we can't get it this year, then that's money that can be.
Right.
Rolled over to,
Were we thinking of
Building.
buying the columbarium at one point, cause they were gonna sell it for like 10 grand, I don't know,
Right.
threw 10 grand in there for the purchase, you know, that was an option at the time.
maybe, but I don't think I would have put it in ground repair, I think I would have put. In ground repair, it would have been
Look into it.
something else, like
Let us know.
planters or something. No, seriously, I mean, those big planters that
With a
Sharice
fence.
uses, they're freaking expensive, I don't know.
When are we gonna get into this?
Can't see that far,
This is your Komatsu.
oh Jesus.
Well, I was gonna get you guys there,
Okay,
if you're done with the cemetery.
I think it is
Be down to Devon.
Anderson or Bobcat.
So the highway. Expense starts on the bottom of page 23, which is. The personal services, so if we go to the top of 24. Then we get into. The request for road, I don't know if your numbers at match,
23.
okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, so. Again, I put it in the way they asked for it, but I might have moved it around from one line to another.
We're on road repairs, correct, is that what we're at?
Yeah,
Okay, yep.
So,
Oh my God, everyone's gonna go berserk here.
Why?
Bottled water,
Oh.
safety
Hey,
supplies.
No,
I already
no.
said bottled water was okay, but I think that we should.
do you realize that?
Right, so it's not like
water
Kenny's
is
here.
plastic?
So
No.
if we have like Hydro Flask or North Elba branded water bottles and
Reusable.
reusable.
how are they
would you
gonna
be
refill?
amenable to like us transitioning away from plastic water bottles? As a,
If
like,
we give you a filling station down the highway.
And we have,
But when they're out doing their work on the roads, they're not gonna drive back and forth to the highway
Yeah,
garage to fill up their
that's
bottles
where-
every
and
hour.
I'll stay.
and I was gonna say, Emily,
I'll
like,
stay out of this one.
we've hiked
Yeah.
like literally 20 miles.
We don't
carrying
recycle every bottle that we buy, cause we have a bottle company that comes like right to
The
our
first part
garage.
is reuse.
And picks them up, so like, we're not like tossing them or.
Oh, no, we're not worried about, yeah, chocolate, but it's,
The nice thing about a little plastic bottle, like if you're working, you can shove one in your back pocket and carry on, I don't know if you can. I don't know.
I'm
I
not,
mean,
I'm not trying to get rid of your water, but it's also more about your health, like you shouldn't be
No.
drinking from plastic water.
it's microplastics, not good.
I'm fucking too late. Oh, God. Sorry again.
I say, that's what I say.
So I
Something's
did
gonna
ask
kill me.
Adrian to look into some water bottles that could have our logo on it, so it'd be like a cool thing to give to our employees with the hopes that you guys will move away a little bit from maybe bottled water. And at least offering you like the option to refill a reusable water
Would
bottle.
they use them?
Good option.
Cause I think maybe we
I
could
think-
spend this year where we put a water bottle filling station in those and then hopefully we can transition
We're looking them up.
or reduce
Can't be the only one drinking bottled water here, right?
No, you're right. You're not.
It was a 17 ounce.
Do you know why?
Aluminum bottle
You
with
know
our
why?
logo on it.
If you don't have one of these, I'll buy you one.
Like
I don't know
$4.
why, I'm a teacher,
Here,
I'm
let me
buying
see
you
that.
one.
Let me see
Yeah,
that.
come on.
Let me see that.
And that was like 17, it's not huge.
No,
right there.
Size, like
Small, it's.
Mike, that might,
There
that
you
might,
go.
that's the point,
smaller than.
that's what you do.
There we
When
go.
you're working outside, that's what you
I've
do.
never put a
Something
solid bottle or
like
anything
that, of
in
a
my
diameter
back
like
pocket.
that, maybe, but anything any bigger, which we were looking at last night. It just wouldn't,
So like
they wouldn't use it,
17 ounce, similar to that,
or more
just
squat,
aluminum.
actually more squat.
60 of them was like $400. That was like a blue one with our logo on it.
Yeah, I just wanna start the thought process, so we don't change it.
Aluminum, not insulated. No,
And
it's
we have
not
that, we have
insulated.
that,
It's not insulated.
And if they're mandatory,
They're cheap aluminum ones.
that's expensive,
I don't
cheapest
know.
quality when I worked at. the-
you want one that's gonna fit.
Less expensive.
You miss the union thing, they're asking like for nap time and stuff.
No, they're not gonna put any sort of nipple on it, so you can.
Like say, geez, I gotta fill up a water bottle. Come on. Stop
All right.
madness.
It's just like, it's just straight,
So,
Sorry.
I'm
telling
gonna
you.
keep 5,000 there
Yeah.
for the bottled water and whatnot. And we're
Lead
gonna
an old
move on.
man to a water bottle filling station, but we can't make him drink.
We have grander issues to deal with
Well,
here.
we have one, and we have one more water bottle filling station, like, that we were gonna put here, but because we're concerned with some issues.
You're
Can we
more-
put it down at the highway garage?
We could, it won't get used.
Well, why not? We can
No.
incentivize.
Are you gonna incentivize, every
I don't
time you
know,
do, you
Steve.
get 10 cents
Yeah, you
or
get
what?
10 cents every time you fill it.
There we go, yeah.
Put your code in and it'll be.
Give you an hour
it'll be in
overtime
your
every time.
paycheck. Your paycheck, it'll be in it,
Okay, moving on.
thank you.
It's happening.
The road, so here's the road widener. So again, I don't know what the 8,000 is for. We'll figure it out.
This is on page 24.
Yeah, 24.
Can I go back to 23?
Why?
Bottom,
That's just salaries. We're gonna talk about those later.
road repairs and maintenance,
Yes. Let's see what the number says. 5110.0103,
It's on the top.
101, 102, 103.
yeah,
Those are all salaries. They're all wages.
so,
You put some.
Because it's the way the report, if you flip the page and look at the very first line, on the next page, it says personal services overtime. It's just the way the report printed.
oh, okay,
I have no control over that. I'm sorry.
but, okay,
You need a better printer.
I need a better
Upgrade.
program.
okay.
I need a better program user. So if we're gonna talk about all the salaries at a later time, the next line is the consumable supplies.
Yes.
Yep,
This is where we usually put the stuff that they use for patching the road, not for paving the roads.
right,
What page was that, 24?
Yes,
top of 24.
so the road striping, the cold patch, all the miscellaneous stuff that they need for that. The road widener, the roller, the paver, the excavator, all that stuff. These are all rentals.
And well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be anything substantial. I was just recently notified, the guy that always done our striping, that Kurt Gregory, that he selling out and he's done. He's like, I'm retiring. I'm like, well, who's buying your business? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, so you're definitely done? He's like, yeah, I don't care. He's like, I'm not doing it.
So we gotta start looking.
So just
That might
saying
go
that,
up.
I mean, 10,000 is, usually it's like $5,000 or so for striping, 10 may cover, but that's why that is 10.
Okay.
That was because it's, I don't know. I didn't know of another company that does it, being honest.
Where should we put in the cost to do the new parking lot you just did for us at Showgrounds? Cause that should be.
In
set.
showgrounds.
Yeah, but I mean, can you help us with a price?
For striping that, oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. That's easy. That
I
should
mean,
be.
don't you think it's important if we're gonna maximize,
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what they tried to do
Make
over
it-
the cross
make it
fields,
look
they
like
just don't do it right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Gonna arrow in, arrow out and all that, one way, I don't know what you do. There's three ways in though, I mean, so I don't know if you can have
Well-
an entrance and an exit, but
we don't even have an
depending on the
entrance where
parking
the,
space, if you put
Yeah.
them on an angle, then you will need an entrance.
Yeah, if you have to put them on the angle, yes.
where the sewer is, we probably gonna still block that off.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, okay.
figure that.
Alright.
So.
CDL course, there's a good,
Yeah.
I never noticed that before.
It was
That's
this
a
for
good
this year too, but we,
That's a good idea, cause if
No
we get
one's
a
taking you
candidate,
up on it, Phil?
Huh?
No one's taking you up on it.
No, no,
Emily's not part of that
She's
anymore.
afraid, I talked to her. Have you talked to her recently?
yeah,
Okay, then you probably talked to her more recently than I
no,
have.
you probably have. She kind of gave up, I mean.
No, I encouraged her, she did semi give up because she's having a tough time getting through the computer-based training. What's it, general something.
it was
I
like
think
general
she's
knowledge.
dyslexic.
No, it's there's the major course you take for your endorsements, you take a separate one, but there's a general something that you take, that's your initial test. And it takes like, well, you can take up to what, 2 hours to do it, you know? But, and she says, I'm having a tough time, and I had a tough time when I took it. And I explained to her that what I did when I studied for it, I had the book and everything, and went online, and I must have done, and you'll appreciate this, like, no exaggeration, 100 practice tests,
Mhm.
Mm.
you know, and it helped me a lot. So I encouraged her to keep going. Go online, you know, to get an appointment to go do it. And just for 2 nights or 2 days or whatever, just take boom, 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 boom.
Repetition.
I wonder
And
if
I only passed by 3 points.
Yeah.
The endorsement ones are cake. I did those in like 10 minutes.
And these are like, were they written tests or?
No, they're computer based.
But
And you have-
but there's no accommodations where they can be, it can be read, if like if they have been diagnosed with it.
No, nothing. It's 2, let's see, in E-Town, which I took mine, I want to say there were 3 terminals.
And you have to do that, and is that to get like the permit before
That's to
you can
get your
actually
permit.
do the
Yeah,
actual
then-
course?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a permit to go to that course.
Oh, that's
What
too
if,
bad.
I guess what Jason's saying, if you actually think she has a learning disability, why don't we just try to figure out how to accommodate that?
Yeah.
I really don't think at this point,
She's
she
just
might.
being overwhelmed.
I think she's overwhelmed, and the fact is, she feels like, I mean, you know, she's a high school graduate, and she's went to school and she, you know, they give you a book, it's about this thick.
No, because I imagine like if she,
And
any
you-
test that she probably had extended time
Right.
and have tests read, if there was a diagnosis.
Right.
If
So
she,
like, that's what
that'd
I'm
be
saying.
documented in the high school though, if they have that
I don't-
documentation, we might be able to
You know,
use it.
I'll be surprised if she hasn't, but the point, I just think.
I don't know if it's genetic, I know like her brother.
Yeah.
Not to name names, he was like really good friends with my twins, and at one point he wanted to pursue the medical thing, go to the army. And I had a recruiter at my house giving him as that, no, try again, try to get your grade up, try again. Come to find out he's dyslexic, and I don't know if that's a genetic thing, hereditary, does it get passed on, like, does that mean like siblings or you're both dyslexic?
Not necessarily, it could be, but
Right.
I think hers is just like, she's studying, and she's just doing the book study. As opposed to doing the practice tests.
Yeah, some people
And
can
if
be
she-
real smart and horrible at taking
That's right,
tests, and some people can be just the opposite.
you know, that's what got me through that was a practice test.
If it really did come down to
You
it,
passed CDL by 3 points. How'd you do on your pharmacy licensing?
I passed, that's all it's either pass or fail, I couldn't tell you.
I
Well,
have-
that's-
let's go, I'll let that one slide, I was just like.
When I
okay,
get to
lie,
my
girl,
CPA
that's
exam,
all
it was
lies.
still paper and pencil
Oh,
at
yeah.
that point, thank
Oh,
God.
I'll start flushing down the water.
There's,
Yeah,
even there's some like the tests that are online that you could just. There are programs even within like Google or on the web where it could just be read to you, but I guess the intrinsic desire has to be there if you're kind of.
Yeah, and
down, maybe you're
I
not
think I'm
watching.
sure that system exists, but you'd probably have to go to Albany or something like that to do it,
Yeah.
which is okay. But the point is, I
Okay, do you have
think,
anyone else?
Not like a current employee, that being said, I do have the guy that worked the summer there, Nicole's boyfriend, that. Guy that worked our summer, the seasonal position, he actually just inquired if there was a full-time position available. Which I would love to hire another guy. We always like winter. I guess every facet throughout the town, you have your uptime and your downtime, and winter is obvious, you always need somebody to plow, and there's always work to do. But summertime, with the sweeping and the needing extra set of hands for traffic control or whatnot, I would love to put another employee on if that's possible. And he seemed to get along, drama-free, easygoing. I think he'd be a good fit with our.
would this be, just to throw this out, and I'm not saying no, I mean, you mentioned it yesterday. The point is, could we do that with a full-time 30-hour employee?
I don't know. then would you take it? The next question.
No, true,
Right.
no, I'm just.
Thanks for the offer, but I need,
But he's,
I don't
he,
he kind of screwed himself by coming here, I hate to say that, because he was a full-time bus driver up in Clayton. During COVID. Right in that in 2019 and 19, early 20, that spring, he got cut from the highway department. Of course, that spring, we didn't have any snow. Thankfully, I mean, everything just kind of worked out, so we got to lay low. So the highway department up in Clayton, he was low man on total pole, he got caught, so he moved and transferred over to the bus garage. By coming here, cause he had a full-time job,
Mhm.
like down here, some of the bus drivers work right through the summer, they do grounds maintenance and whatnot, they keep them on year round. By coming here for the summer, when he went back, he's now a 5 hour a day employee,
okay,
and that's not gonna cut it, so he's
No,
either,
that's-
like, say, he's
no,
looking
that's
for a
not.
job, either he's gonna go. You know, I mean, not my problem, but he's gotta do what he's gotta do, he's gotta find a job that's probably full-time and. He's got a child, he's got responsibilities. I don't know if offering part-time, maybe you take the.
well, it's not, technically not part-time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
I mean, we would save 10 hours pay per week or whatever.
Yeah, till summer, then you'd have to pay in full because that's when I need them. They say that's when you really need them. Winter, you can probably get away with it. Because you don't know, I mean, if it don't snow, I don't need you, you know, one of those types of things.
Because I mean, just to put it, the numbers in perspective, we could start them out at 30 hours. And then in summertime bump them to 40. Now it's a 40, we leave them at 40. You know, but at least we saved X number of months,
Right.
you know, I'm just saying,
I'm not sure, but I think we should check with the union to see.
It's
if
still full-time,
we
though,
can
isn't it?
do,
Still
they
full-time.
don't, all of the union positions are 8 hour, or 40 hour
If it's highway, then
positions.
Okay.
So I'm not
Right,
sure
the
how
way that
that
it's
would
spelled
play
out,
out,
yeah.
we might have to
Okay, no, I got you.
look into that.
No, I'm just looking to save some money.
I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm just saying we've had to look into it.
But no, I'm just saying back to Emily, if you see, I just personally talking to her, we talked about 10-15 minutes. I just think she needs the encouragement to say, hey, how you doing with your studying? You know, take it again in a few weeks or a month or 2 or 3. And, you know, I know you talked to Dick about practice tests, that's all I'm saying,
Right.
if you see her.
The village actually created like a little study group, and what they found was a lot of like the current online. Tests weren't up to date with the current manual.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cause when I took it, they were,
right.
yeah, they were.
So, I mean, that could also be a problem if they've changed anything, and if you're acing all these online tests and you go, then you're failing, there's something to be missing, obviously, and she's taken it 4 or 5 times and that's not.
Is there not a course we can send her to?
You
If she
need-
really wants to do this.
Well, you need your permit.
You have to do your
You
permit.
can't do that.
There's not a
Right,
course for studying to get the permit.
Not that I'm aware of.
no, nothing, no.
Not aware. And I'd love to see a girl, a female in the highway department, I think. Nothing personal, it's, you gotta control the rest of them, then what you gotta do. It's-
I
Yeah,
think it's important to encourage any employee who wants to further.
Oh, sure, I agree, cause that was. Right here, living example, I started at the transfer station, I was the first guy with recycling with sledgehammers breaking glass and barrels, I mean, how archaic was that? And the first time we ever got a cardboard baler, I mean, just like, wow, what a piece of technology this thing is. And I moved up, you know, I went from there, I worked at the cemetery, I worked in every department that we have so far, and I think that's for me, I think it's an asset because I've been there and I know what they're going through, I've been there and I've lived it. And
Now you are the department.
no, just
And when we did, if you recall, when we did interview Emily, that was her thought.
Right,
This transfer station thing is a start,
Right,
is a stepping stone.
sure.
I wanna get my CDL and be in the highway department.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's like eager, and I always say, and I like with the conversations I had, like, if you're not ready now, it doesn't mean. That you won't be the next time, and the current situation. Potentially have 3 people that wanna go.
Hmm.
And. For me, like wanting to hire this other guy, that's kind of be more proactive than
Yes.
anything. If somebody comes to me and says. In January, like, hey, I'm moving.
Yep.
And then you gotta go through. The process, now you gotta advertise for 2 weeks, and then it takes a friggin' month and a half to get another employee in here.
If somebody applies.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, if you get somebody that applies that has the credentials to step into that position. And I think one's pretty serious about leaving, the other two I don't know, but I think one's pretty serious about leaving.
Yeah.
But they're all getting, we have a few guys that are just at that age that are ready to move on or try something different and. I'd say preparedness is key.
Oh, yeah. One keeps saying he's gonna stay as long as you do.
Good thing. I say clone them and put brains in them and they'll be able to
Yeah,
fly.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Kathy, we're sorry.
Next.
So Kenny, I wanted to ask you, because, and I didn't get around to it, and I just remembered. The roller, the paver, the road widener, all that stuff, you wanna rent it,
Yes,
but you wanna rent that not just for doing patches, but you wanna rent that for actually doing
Paving.
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 So technically, it shouldn't be in the 5110, it should be in 5112. But overall, it's in the same, it's where it belongs, it's in the highway budget, so
Excuse me.
halfway down 24 there, he has the 153, 450 for the asphalt to do the roads
Yeah.
next year. No contract, not like, we're not gonna have Brunel or somebody come in and do the paving, he wants to do it.
I think,
Inside.
yeah, and at our convenience and. This year was, I mean, I guess. I'm gonna call it a learning experience, always requesting, let's get past lacrosse to pave. So we kind of get our count back and. It's impossible to drive anywhere when you got that many people in town, so I say, hey, you can pass lacrosse. I put that in my paving bids of start date and I never, we should be adding a done by or
Yeah,
complete by
exactly.
date.
Yes.
So kind of chalk that up to learning, but all these roads that I'm looking to do, I think are, not saying like, that not. Every road matters, but I think that these are so easy and straightforward, they're not complicated, you got one intersection on every road, and I think. We can do it and just shave off the labor, just put it into the material.
Do you
Which one is
remember
this one?
offhand the distance of what you're proposing?
That is, no, not completely, but it's probably overall. Mile and a half, maybe.
Is there a list of the streets here?
It's not,
Yes,
it's written, it's the narratives,
Almond,
On the drag
Alpine,
Alpine.
Mountain Road, Franks Lane, Sweetwood Farm Road.
I did check out that
Is this on
one road.
25?
Oh, did you check out where,
page 24 under,
over where,
halfway down,
Block.
under permanent improvements.
Ledge Rock, yeah,
The road's fine,
Yeah.
I think she's looking to pave down in there, but that's not
Just
her.
one line,
right,
Right, I mean, the road itself.
on page
Oh, I got it.
24, did I
I
say
got
that?
it. Way-
You got it.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's.
I think maybe she's looking for
These
the town to
bold,
adopt more.
the darker type.
Yeah.
It's throwing me off.
So,
Maybe in the future, cause there's also
and
houses
we've
being built up
spent
on
so
the right.
far, we've
Up on-
paid
yeah.
150 and a half. Where it says 24,460. We just got the bills in, it was 150. 586 so far this year. So the 153 is, I don't know if we've gotten everything in for paving yet, but
How far does that Sweetwood Farm Road go back in? I didn't realize that was public.
Well, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
There's, you know, where like at Wise Up.
Yeah,
We own probably 100 feet to the left beyond that wide,
okay,
and that's it, I think it's where Denny Allen's
Yeah.
house was, we used to turn around there.
okay, okay, I always thought that was private, okay, I didn't know how far it goes.
I wish a lot of them little roads were, but.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I get it,
No way, probably. Yeah, we know,
but that happened before,
it did happen before
It did.
that, okay,
yep,
okay, I didn't know,
yeah, that was actually under Kent Pratt. That was-
okay, okay, so we can't blame Larry.
No.
so after the paving is his request for a loader and excavator, which is the stuff I handed out to you that was stapled together.
yeah,
And I'm gonna recommend to the board, since we have to cut expenses, to move that into a bonding to, when we make the decision to say, yes, you can get those and order them, that we bond for those two pieces of equipment. And before we started today, I just asked Kenny and he got an update from the guy, we had budgeted for a truck for him for this year. He's still waiting for that to come.
Yes, right.
So that is also gonna have to be bonded, or at least partially bonded.
So that's, I mean, we know on the trucks, they're always whatever, But like the loader, I mean, what's the time on that?
The one that I brought the quote for, I have other quotes.
Yeah.
Everything's on state contract too as well. This is actually the one that we actually wanted and it's cheaper than the other ones. But anyways, 60 days.
No.
That's most, and if we let them know, like, or say, hey, we know, we could have it like January.
So-
Yeah, with a loader, I.
Excavators very similar, they
Yeah.
just have to, like say, depending on what attachments, it could be kind of custom build an excavator, cause it's like. Do you need a hydraulic, the thumb, and that's an add-on, do you need a quick coupler, you want a manual or hydraulic, and what size bucket you want, and all this other crap that comes along with it. And I just wanna, like I say, I got into our current one, we have a small excavator right now. We had a park and brake issue, and it's a wheel, ours is on wheels, it's not on any sort of tracks. Became this is more like a safety thing, parts are now obsolete. We could not buy a part to repair our park and brake. So with the MacGyvers that we have in our garage, we took a slack adjuster, which
Okay.
you probably know what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Big trucks have a slack adjuster which control your air brakes, and we chopped one off, put a clevis on this thing and built our own park and brake assembly for the
Turn it
time,
into a-
for the time being, huh?
Turn it into a valve?
No, it's just a mechanism
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
inhibits.
Mechanical.
And yeah, and like I say, in order to continue to use it safely, you have to have a parking brake because it's on wheels. You can't, if there's no park, you just roll away and you can't have that. So,
Yeah.
Just put the bucket down.
yeah, well, yeah, there is, yeah.
And I just always carried a big log, and I put it against the tire and attack cars.
And like the excavator that we rented a few times.
Yeah.
This year, obviously, like when you're digging into a road, our small machine. Like, can you do it? Sure you can, but it'll take you like 8 hours to dig across the road, where if you have a little bit bigger machine, like the one that I'm requesting, kind of best of both worlds.
What size is this one?
This will be like an 18,000 pound machine.
Okay,
Our current one's 12.
Yeah.
Obviously, more reach, more power. Whatever, modern, it's a Bobcat right across the street,
Right.
very convenient to get parts, order parts, to a
Yeah.
Bobcat dealer across the street. But I think it'll eliminate the need for also renting, every time you're renting an excavator, it's $1,000 a day or more. And the one that we rented 3 times this year was $1,000 a day,
so what's the excavator we have right now, what year is it?
2006.
Okay, and I assume this one is Bobcat's track?
Yes,
Okay.
rubber track, so you
Yeah.
won't damage the road, you
Right.
can be able to drive it
Will
down.
you do ditching with this?
Yeah,
So you'll have a ditching bucket.
it'll come with a ditching bucket, digging bucket. And nice thing about a Bobcat is they have like a third function control, you can put a breaker on it, you can. All
Yeah.
kinds of attachments for the thing, put mowers on it. Yeah, handy.
Yeah.
For the future, I mean, if we make this step
Yeah.
here, then in the future, if you wanna buy another attachment for roadside mowing and knocking down small
Yeah.
brush instead of.
Yeah,
doing
it's a
it
good
manually.
That's, yeah,
And you could get this in like 60-90 days as well.
Yes, yep, they're both
So-
readily available.
Ideally, if the board approved it, we could bond for the truck that was supposed to be here this year. With these all together,
right.
one time, it would save us
And
the cost of
and as you
the.
told us last week, our bonding situation is good.
We're in good shape with our bond right now, so I wouldn't feel bad at all about asking the board to bond. This and maybe a couple small pieces for the park district if necessary. You might be looking at adding 450 to maybe 500 max.
But looking forward to the money that Derek wants to spend on bonding. No, I mean.
We'll still be-
We still, that's my point. We'll
Yeah,
Still be okay.
Oh yeah, cause our
Yeah.
debt limit,
I won't-
we've always been under 5%.
I'm gonna let my successor sign that bond because we'll okay it next year, but I'll be.
So.
I got it all.
It'll still be your
Set it all
legacy, my
thing
friend.
down.
It'll be your legacy.
In his office on his wall, there's an invisible timeline.
No, I mean, I have no problem with that then.
Here's my question.
And so that helps with
With
it.
bonding, yes, 2 questions.
Mhm.
Bonding the machinery, I'm okay with because it will help us be closer to within the tax cap.
It will also help, cause you'll have better equipment to
But
work
when
with.
it goes back to paving, I
Mhm.
wanna make sure, say for instance, Ken is doing 1.8 miles of paving.
Mhm.
And typical years you do like 3 miles.
Right.
I don't wanna just meet the tax cap this year, and then all of a sudden next year he says, Jesus, I got almost 4 miles to do.
Well,
Right.
And I need $600,000 more.
I think in my mindset, I kind of tuned down the paving for a year, knowing that I was gonna ask for equipment and trying to just
Okay,
convert that money that I would normally put into paving asphalt into a piece of
You know what I'm
equipment.
saying, I don't
And
want-
Still do some
Oh, I
paving,
got you.
but then I
want this
wasn't
year's
asking
budget
for
to be
$100,000 for
comparable to
equipment
last
paving,
year's.
I'm only still asking for 5 and.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, what if we say, just use the numbers, so like, if it's indeed 1.8. What if you say, because if we bond the equipment, you add another half mile on?
Possible.
So that would take it away from next year,
yeah,
you know, with,
Are there any roads that are in such like disrepair that?
and it's not about paving, it's about leaving his budget amount
yeah,
comparable to last year.
oh,
But
and
still
next,
get us under the,
right, and
because
next
that-
year too.
because in years where we sacrifice and cut back stings us the
Yeah,
next
That's
year.
my point, so now if we add
We
a half
need
a
to
mile,
maximize that 2%, whether it comes out, the equation is 1.7 or 2.2, I don't care.
There's also a meeting upstairs.
Oh, so we don't lock up,
I would see who leaves first, I don't know.
is Lori gone?
Laura's here.
Okay, so she'll hit the button on the door
I
then.
guess.
See you tomorrow.
All I know is I'm leaving.
All
I
right.
gotcha. Yeah, so that, I agree with you, just add another half mile, 3/4 mile on. And half mile, so we don't get, like you said, as you say, stung next year.
So. In your asphalt, the price here is the estimate based on 1.8. So
That's
if we
just-
were,
well, like I say, I don't
Well,
know
we
the
don't-
exact
we don't-
mileage.
will you find out?
Oh, yeah,
much more
yeah,
we
the
have
exact
that?
mileage.
It's
I
more
could
about
figure
the
out.
bottom line number, it's not about how much paving.
No,
No, but I mean, if he has to buy a half mile more, we're talking about adding 50,000 to his
Right.
paving or.
but you don't know,
75,
but it's
we don't
not a
know
straight
yet.
front, you gotta measure it.
Right.
I mean, it's not just this way,
That's what I was
it's
asking him.
other things.
What was that again?
The width, you know,
That's with,
I just wanna make sure.
No, go, I did both.
I don't know if you're dancing.
It was a trapezoid, okay?
alright,
So for now, well, paving, I'll go like this.
so we're
Makes
winding
more
it
sense.
down, Ken, and I don't. Nobody's on, I don't see the fudge factor,
there's no fudge factor in this budget,
I know,
There is-
I like
that
that.
scares me,
yeah.
Oh, really? I like it.
what's that?
I like it.
Not when that wing breaks on the
Just
truck.
be careful.
Budget adjustment, that's not, yeah, 2 words.
Ask
Yeah.
I don't ask for that in any other department, but I do with highway. It's too critical.
Well, for one thing, if looking at machinery. We budgeted 265 for this current year. We haven't even used half of it,
Okay, but,
that's what I was waiting for you to speak up.
where are you getting the 265
You
from
just addressed that. didn't you?
first?
Oh, that's right, you did. No,
Which, what 265 are you looking at? What line are you on?
uh.
Oh, I see it. The equipment and capital outlay, that one, the 265?
Yeah,
The truck hasn't come yet.
that's right, you did, I'm
Right.
sorry. I'm just looking at
Okay.
numbers and I forget.
That's okay.
I'm getting punchy too.
Oh my gosh, it happens to me all the time. Alright, so
Well, I have a
What
beer in my car.
else? it's
I
gonna be
I
solid
got
for one.
got bourbon, okay, I bet.
Not the school night.
Alright,
So, did you go to college?
I did.
How much, 3 of them didn't get it, right?
snow removal, okay, so
Yeah, you for effort there.
I'm gonna skip down to the middle of page 25 for snow removal. The majority of that is,
Mackenzie Bond Road?
no, personal services.
Stay
And
out
salt
there.
and sand, you know, and then the equipment he needs to put his plows on. So I don't think, I mean, that's,
That's straightforward.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
I have a question about plows. Do you still have the live edge plow that you
Yes.
won
No, we have 4 now.
for? So
Actually, we have 4 live edge plows. Well, you can call it actually 5. I mean, there's one that's an off-brand for their identical. And if I can, I think I have enough money in my current budget, I'm gonna put it on our last truck, and every truck will have one.
so are you still happy with them?
The newer one, yes, the original brand that when it first came out. But that's back when, I don't know if you were here, Larry Straight had bought that Metal Plus brand, was garbage. Very expensive to run, and if you told me I had to buy cutting edges for it, I quit, just cause it's junk, I wouldn't run it. But the newer one, there's a new company out, that you don't have to buy a whole plow, it's just a edge system that bolts to your current plow.
Gotcha.
So you're just buying this adapter and then you can change each blade individually and it's very affordable to run, so I am satisfied. That it's more cost effective doing it that way than previously. I don't adapt well to change, I'll keep saying that.
That's why the
We're
one.
plowing snow off a road. How much more science can go into it, you know what I mean, there's
Yeah.
cutting edges and you plow it, and if it snows again, you gotta plow it again, and but I mean, everything's worked, and so now you need better plow edges, I guess, so. So does it take more off? It does, and they definitely clean better than the other edges, I'll say that, they do clean better, but. There's a sales pitch of that guy, that WYT Enterprises. They'll come by and says, well, I can teach you how to plow so you don't plow as much, I think that, he lives in Glens Falls. Lake George, which they close down in the winter, they don't get half the snow, it's probably 10 degrees warmer on average, they don't have to plow. Up here it's very demanding, and if you're not plowing, you're,
Building up.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
screwing yourself by
Ice.
not being out there, cause then it gets hard packed and it turns to ice, and now it takes you twice as long. And material to get the ice off, so
Again,
you have to be
because
out
you're
there.
Yeah, well, I'm.
When it snows, you gotta be out, you can't wait,
All
there is
around.
no time frame, and you can teach me when I should plow, but bullshit all day long, sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry.
you talk from experience, I mean, you've done it for how many years?
It's not, yeah. There's no book on when to plow, maybe give childbirth, but not. Sorry.
Another episode of Kenny
Fair.
Podcast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know that you guys are really gonna touch his budget, right? You're good with what's in there?
You aren't kidding.
Alright,
If he needs
so
it, he's got it.
I would say let's go to page 46 for the airport and then we'll be done. Can you write for me?
I think 46.
Yeah, just- 46 is the airport. The only thing Kenny doesn't have control over there is the liability insurance for the airport, but.
Yeah, my first question is, without going down through the thing, is I'd like to equate what Sleepy makes over what our income is from rent. I look at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if it costs us $66,000 for Sleepy over the cost of the whole year. And we're only taking in 2,800 or 3,000 a month.
Oh,
I
no,
like-
no, okay, yeah, I got you.
I'd like to know the difference.
So the airport,
Well, we shouldn't lose money, that's the bottom line. Well,
Bear
How
with
much
me.
we will.
like that, true, we shouldn't lose money anytime, but. And then Lee says, what about Craig?
Because I look at Sleepy's job as probably 60 to 70% of his job is airport. If you take all winter with his plowing and the infrequent mowing that he does and that stuff in the summer. Even at the very least, let's say 50%.
Okay, yeah.
so we have 45,000 for T hanger leases, 1,000 for the ground lease.
Yeah,
And 21,700 for the FBO.
so there's
So-
68, say 70,000, okay.
And we, regardless of your ratios, we
Yeah.
split Sleepy 50-50 between
That's
the
fine.
cemetery, which is in the A fund, and the
Alright.
airport, which is the SP fund. So when you look at the SP budget, the airport personal services The
Yep.
33,587 would
That's
be
sleepy.
half a sleepy,
Yes.
and the 3,500 would be overtime for him for plowing,
Okay,
whatever.
so we're to the plus column, 30 to 35,000.
Well, the whole budget is like 78,
Right,
so do we break even with the airport? Some
No.
years, yes,
Yeah.
some years, no.
okay, so,
Depends. I would say we're going in the wrong direction and we should definitely look at increasing the
hangers.
T hanger rent. I'm not sure about the ground lease because I mean, it's just a section of ground and we don't do anything with
When
that.
was the last time we increased the T hanger?
Yeah.
T hanger was, I think Roby was in office.
It was at least 10 years ago.
It's been
Okay,
a
so-
while.
No, so that's, and unfortunately, like anything else, when you don't do it, you don't do it, then you gotta catch up.
But if we
Right.
go from 3,000 to 3,500, what percentage is that? 10% would be 300. So we're going up 14%. That's a lot in 1 year, but we could,
I don't think that it's unrealistic though.
no.
There's
compared-
so many
No, that's the
people.
thing, it I'm just picking numbers, but it's probably should be closer to 4,000.
There's so
Right
many
now,
people.
yeah, compared to
Hold on,
when we
next
did it, so therefore. But we can't do it, you gotta catch up.
Well, how, so we were saying 3,000. And you say we should go to 4.
No, I
So
think
we-
that's where
we
it should
do
go, that's where it should
But
go.
I'm saying that, how many years do we wanna do it?
That only
3
bumps
years?
us,
There's
that
only-
only bumps us $8,000 at
Yeah.
500.
We do the T hanger leases as 2 years at a time.
Oh.
So my recommendation would be increase it to 3,600 for the next 2 years.
3,600.
So if you go 36, and then in another. See,
It's
that's,
$250 a month now, so I'm asking you to go to 300 a month.
That's reasonable.
So if you
yeah,
were,
okay, yeah.
if you were to be
Yeah.
in
I want one, just little.
Hudson Valley, they rent their T hangers for $435
Where's,
a month,
where's Hudson Valley, where's it?
It's downstate.
Hudson Valley.
No, but I mean, Hudson Valley's a big area. Where is the airport?
It's called,
The south of
it's
here.
called Sky Hangers.
Hudson Valley, you know, it's everything below Albany down to New York.
I don't know.
I don't know how much I-
This is what I found.
I'm sure
Sky
it's not
Acres
West
is
Point.
in Hudson Valley.
There is a Hudson Valley?
Maybe down near Saugerties somewhere.
Tell
That's
that,
what it's.
what's it
Where-
called?
Where's LaGrange-ville? Do you
So
know where
right now,
LaGrange-ville is?
300, 400?
And then there's,
Or
and
too
then
much?
in
We're at 250.
a month, we do 250 a
Also,
month.
minute also 250.
Cause it's
So
3,000 a year, so it's 250 a
so
month,
you're saying 360? What did you just say?
300 a month,
Go to 300 a month.
3,600 a year.
No, within those 2-year agreements, we can't go.
It's
So we
it's
can't
not
go
that far
50
above
one
New York.
year, another 50 the following year?
50 doesn't get us anywhere.
But I'm just saying, what,
Way down.
that's, well, it's better than 250, I guess that's my question is what, within, what should we do then? Cause it seems like
Per month, 50 a month is okay, that,
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, she was saying
I was doing the.
250 per month, right?
It's 250 a month, right?
Yeah.
To get to 3,000.
What
I think that's
about,
right.
why would 350 be too much of a jump?
For my mind, it's just easier math.
I don't care what it is.
3,600 divided by 12 is 300.
So it's what, you said it's what,
So you already, we're charging 250 a month, what's?
Then let's go to 4,000.
Then it's 400 and change down there, why can't we go to 3?
and then if we lose 3 people, we're behind by $5,000.
that's the thing, that's the
But we
point.
won't, because we have people waiting to get in.
I thought you didn't have a wait list.
We
We
didn't,
have a wait list, oh my gosh, yeah, we have a wait list, there's like 10 people on it.
well, yeah, but 8 of them have been on since 2014.
And the person who just picked up the last one
Yeah,
took it, he was on the list since 2011.
yeah, that's our smokehouse guy,
I mean,
Jonathan,
I get a call at
Do
least
that.
twice
I
a
don't know
year
if he's
saying,
playing.
number one, I wanna get on your list, or number two, am I still on your list?
And the manager wants to have a hanger now too, Chris.
Well,
And then there's,
Yeah. Hey, we'll take his money.
for what?
the Binghamton Airport has T hanger space waiting for you.
Russell?
And they charge anywhere, depending on the size and location of the building, from $235 up to $500.
Yeah, so 3.
So, and that's big.
I said, I'm trying, just saying it's theirs, if we go up 25%, it's 325.
Yeah.
It's actually 312.
I think if you look at it as a percentage, $100 from $250 is kind of a big jump.
Yeah,
But if you're doing a month, but are we, so this kind of reminds me of water and sewer for the village, when political reasons, you kind of keep it artificially suppressed, but then when it comes time, it's like 4%,
So
5%, and it's like over the course of 3 years, you're going over 10 to 15%.
Right.
we're not
It's
trying
like-
to make money, we're trying to break even because the majority of the work, buildings that are out there have been. They got there from grants
Yeah.
and
Federal money.
part of the issue is. They don't want you making money off of receiving
Well,
grants.
Well, then we
I
shouldn't be
want you
losing
to-
money either.
They want you
So
to
what's
be
our
able to
sweet spot?
maintain the buildings.
yeah,
No, well, you don't know exactly, but I would say 300. And we'll revisit it in 2 years.
That was what I was gonna suggest.
Yeah, cause you can't, we shouldn't have gone this long. With an
You
increase.
can, you just prefer not to, I don't like, are we gonna, we have people on the list.
But they may not want it at that price. And then we have nobody on the list.
Right. But if we
So we lower our
stay
prices.
around or under the ones that are available, they're gonna say, yes, I want it.
No, like I said, I think 300 and don't wait as long. 2 years from now, we raise it again,
Or at least revisit the issue and see where the prices are.
which by the sounds of it, I mean, this Sky Acres is right above Newburgh.
I would say
It's down there.
325. I would say 325.
I would have a problem, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I'm just saying.
But the bottom line is, that's not something that's under Kenny's control and I'm
No.
sure he wants to go, so do you guys wanna
Just
just
got
take
that, where's
a
like,
take a look at that airport
Fine.
budget and say, you're good or not?
All right.
I have.
Is it now not blue because it's super cold now?
Cause we could, cause there's more than
The
just
whole
the
shit
airport
is
to talk about for revenues.
isn't there new snow equipment in our cap fund for grants
Next year,
next
Yeah.
year,
Yes.
new loader,
yes,
But
yeah,
he just did a inventory, he was here, just needed serial numbers and.
Yeah.
Just go through,
But-
actually, I wanted to see the serial number on the Unimog, he goes, I never even thought they'd ask for it.
We didn't get-
Oh, yeah,
we didn't get the award for that yet, though, they're gonna apply for it for us,
Right,
right?
right,
So
they're-
we're not gonna see that new snow equipment probably for 2 years,
right,
at least.
right, but I mean, we, not saying we, but somebody before me should have asked for snow removal equipment, because when I asked for it, it's probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and having a 2002 loader, that's a total piece of shit now that you kind of depend on.
my main
Is
reason.
where we're at, sorry, the language thing, I'm terrible,
My main reason to know
don't have a
in
newspaper, don't
basic
see me.
numbers, what the difference between our labor at the airport and our income from the airport,
Yes,
and it centers around this. We don't have a stable lease agreement in my estimation right now, there's little to no activity. It's evident they're trying to streamline this toward this Roger, and this Roger is not somebody this town board's gonna wanna work with.
I know.
I can tell you that right now. So I know that what will be behind is $30,000 to $40,000. And knowing that that's all that we are sacrificing, and we can move in and take over fuel sales for those that wanna use it, I can cut that deficit in half, so with nobody there. We'll be under $30,000 at a loss.
Okay, so that's the point, so we gotta make up. So how many T hangers we have?
17,
15.
See, no,
15.
I don't
Which
see
is
so
it?
crazy now.
Oh, 5, 5, and 5. That's
Yeah,
it.
there's
Yeah.
2 5s butt up against each other, and then there's another 5, and then at the end of the 5 is tie downs. Which we don't make any money off of, and we could if we wanted to.
So if we raise the price, they just pass it on to the customers, yeah? So,
No, those T hangers are, they're like personal planes. There's no
Yeah.
customer.
So planes, cars, boats, miscellaneous items that
Right,
don't
we should have
belong.
just had storage units instead of T.
I know, we could charge more money.
I'd take one.
and you can automate it, we can split one.
Yeah, split one.
Which is going on my list to talk to you about cleaning out all those corners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just have a subscription, have it
Shit.
recharged.
I've got a small list just of things I observed already of
Yes.
things to do.
Well, it is back and locked for a reason.
It is?
Maybe there's somebody in it.
Maybe there's
Oh,
someone.
I just not really in.
Well, I don't usually don't answer either, cause it's locked.
If you're in the ladies' room, then, I hope you were there.
So that's by increasing it to 325. That gives us an additional 13,500.
Yeah, which
That's
is,
all that gives us. I mean, that's
right,
change, but that's how it gives
The
us.
softens.
that definitely puts us in a plus column on normal years.
Yes.
And it's still under, and it's still far below what the regional. Is, right, from what Kathy was saying, it's below what regional.
Yeah, but well, that one in Binghamton, it did say something, but
But it's
that's
Binghamton.
gotta be probably a quarter,
It's down by
whatever.
$1,000.
I mean, Binghamton is a fairly good sized regional airport, but what they, well, the three, do something to.
What do you wanna do,
Five.
decide on this right now? On the rents,
Well, it has to do,
Well, I would say tentative and loop Rick in too, so.
you prefer 325?
I could go with 325.
I'm fine with you, Shannon.
I don't wanna play, I'm okay with 325.
Yeah. And if,
And
and
it's cheap,
What are they gonna do? I mean, in reality, we're gonna say, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
where can you get, where, I don't know how much
Where you gonna
storage
go?
units are. Here, I mean, 20-foot storage units, but they gotta be more than that.
yeah,
And like
and
I said,
we are restrictive what you can put in there. The last guy
Sort
that
of.
just left had a boat in there,
Well,
one guy left his car in there.
that's what I'm gonna put in.
So,
Yeah.
are we,
So we're not subsidizing your car obsession there.
I can buy more now.
And then we'll start pulling those together and.
Do I need to put that on the agenda for us to reconfirm?
And then also, I'd like your permission to send a draft of that T-hanger lease agreement to the attorneys to review. Cause I think we should increase our liability insurance limits.
So there's an increase in. You know what I mean? There's another expense, so.
Wash.
Well, no, it just became less of a wash.
So, because
Yeah.
when we were with,
Travelers,
Travelers, thank you. Our limit was 1,000,000, 3,000,000.
Okay,
But with NYMER, it's 2.4.
Oh.
So I think we should have all of our subcontractors, all of our, anything that we do business with that requires insurance coverages.
Hmm.
Should be at the same limits as ours. So I
be
think
careful, cause that's a good chunk of change.
for you, if you're somebody who has to have
If you could, so what
a
you're saying,
liability insurance
if
policy.
you're requiring somebody to come in. And show you insurance,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I agree with that. But if you go to anything above like 2 million. It may not be worth them to do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is that we're renting T-hangers and
Well,
let's just say,
that's one thing,
that's what I'm
yes,
talking about.
okay,
So in this instance, for the T-hanger, I think it should be a 2.4 because the buildings, they rent one hangar and they have. The whole building, if one plane catches on fire or something
Yeah.
happens, that whole building could go. All that other,
I was just
You know.
going by what you said about anybody we bring in or something like that.
I think it should be a board decision. You look at what you're talking about doing and then you decide if it's required.
and I,
If it makes sense, like you were saying, because if you have somebody who's renting a stall out at showgrounds, you don't need to have a 2.4 out there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if you,
Yeah.
you know, well, the reason I know is because. Greenwood, for Jeremy to plow there, they wanted him to have a $5 million umbrella. He said, no, not plow.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's
if
not
you want a 5 million, you're gonna be charged accordingly and you're gonna pay this.
right,
And they said, how much would it increase? You gave a legitimate number.
uh-huh,
You can't afford that for plowing.
right,
I gotta cover that policy.
right, exactly,
So that's why I say, I
right.
mean, I wanna be covered, but that's ridiculous.
I don't wanna delay things, but I need to tell you this about airport. The airport has asked on 2 different occasions, any openings that come up in T-hangers, they wanted the right. To take them over and lease them out to somebody else, and they would pay us our rate for them. I'm against
Yeah,
that
no,
because one thing our lease says, there is no subletting leasing.
Right.
And I'm not impressed with the way they've been moving forward. I did consider this a year ago when there was some movement. But I am unimpressed with everything about what's going on
Well,
down
like,
there.
number one, you said there's no subletting.
Right,
We've got reputable individuals on a wait list. You know, screw you,
yeah,
we're gonna run into them,
Well,
and
now-
they're gonna make money off it.
Not only that, but we built those teen hangars with FAA grants and
right.
I don't think that that's something that you can do without checking with them,
I'm sure they'll charge more than $325.
Well, that's
Oh,
the
for
point.
sure.
No, that's the point.
right?
It's not gonna be $350 either.
Yeah, so,
No, that's, no.
okay.
I really, in that vein, I don't care who it is, even if they're moving forward at light speed, that's not right.
And we're trying to protect our residents.
That's what I mean.
For use of that airport.
Yes, yes,
Okay, I just,
no, thank you.
Did you have anything else that you needed to talk to them about for your budget?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I know there's a couple big ticket items on there, but everything else is
Something-
just basically operational costs.
Yeah. Yeah.
so the main thing is that we've put off until talking all personnel. Have you put in like requests or anything for certain wages? You already have that?
So Dick and Rick and Ken and I met yesterday to go
Okay,
over the union's proposal and we're gonna counter it.
but I'm talking about
You're talking
you and Shannon.
No,
I mean, have we got everything we need from you when we talk about,
The restructuring component of it.
no,
haven't got
no,
that.
just
What's
the-
in the budget?
their
versus-
compensation in highway
right,
and
so that'll
landfill.
be, right, whatever you had there, like.
Oh, you mean
I mean, we know we're doing
So,
3%.
Right, right.
But is there anything
uh,
above and
when
beyond
you
that
look at
that's being
A
asked for?
Oh, is there anything?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
I'm not suggesting there is, but I wanna know
That,
that we're
would
to a
be
point where we
your-
can talk about.
where you
Yeah.
started
But I-
this year plus
I gotcha.
3%,
Okay.
not including the restructuring.
And plus he's also, yeah, he's not,
Obviously,
I
that
gotcha,
will
he's not
change.
asking for anything for anybody or
Right,
whatever.
and Shannon's in at 3% as well.
Yeah.
So, what's in the budget that you guys have right now is just based off of where he started the year plus 3%.
okay,
Doesn't
okay.
have anything to do with what's been going on recently.
alright,
Right,
So I figured tomorrow would be a good time to talk about that.
yeah,
Go through some of the revenues, talk about liability insurance, touch base on things that,
who else is on tomorrow?
just me,
Are
and
we town clerk?
if you want her. I mean, she didn't, Lori didn't want to talk to you guys.
I'm gonna, you're the one that's saying things.
I still feel it's up.
I couldn't say.
Like the board,
Right, sorry.
I, in my mind, it like prefer like if just Kathy kind of went forward, but again, I'm just 1 of 5, so whatever.
I wanted to hear you.
I'm game either way. But I wanna put some stuff forward,
Well, that's the point, and that's it, and I agree with you in the fact that,
whether
just-
an
yeah.
employee's here or not, I don't care. But I'm at a situation coming in here that we're gonna talk about.
well, the point is, no, the big point to me is the fact that department, and I'll use that term, needs representation,
Yeah,
not just Kathy putting forward.
right,
We need somebody or some representation sitting there.
and it's important that the whole board hear.
Oh, we know,
I'm 1 of 5, I'm not, I
I
don't
know,
care.
but I'm not trying to twist the screw or start anything, but it's important information
Well,
on how we move forward.
and we can't just say, well, okay, that's the thing, we just can't say, it's okay. Yeah, no, I'm
Alright.
fine with it, whatever.
Okay,
Go enjoy your tall beer, whatever you call it.
Do the mountains still change?
Plural.
When they get cold, they still change?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ken,
I wouldn't know, I wouldn't know.
I know, well, you know, the amount of technology they put into their cans is impressive, so. Who else is that?
I don't know.
Hey, I bought one a couple months ago that had a wrap on it with the 16 ounces. And it just, the 4-packs, and they each one, if you put this 4-pack in the sunlight, because they were in different, left them in the 4-pack, you got different colors on each scene. Technology,
Ken, quick question on Bobcat excavators.
he's impressed.
Are wheels and tracks an option? I mean,
Oh, yeah, no, you can request anything,
You're doing wheels?
no, trash.
Oh, you are doing
I
trash.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
like, might be things about this.
Rubber, yeah, rubber tracks, so
Rubber.
damaged roads, so you can still
Yeah,
work
yeah.
on asphalt, but you can also have the best of both worlds, you can get
Turf, or,
off-road
Right.
and with a wheeled excavator to get into a mucky situation, you need a certain
Yeah.
operator that knows how to get into it and get out of it.
yeah,
Instead of driving into it, then call a bigger excavator and get you out of it.
I could say,
There's nobody
construction
on this,
company
right?
Had 10 of them, having one on wheels.
So I need to ask you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
I
Alright.
think the intent, Norm
Yeah.
Harmel on that, and I mean, he was definitely the Volvo guy and.
Yeah.
Just being able the nice about the wheel thing